Darkcast Network. Welcome to the dark side of podcasts.
Hi, this is Kelly.
And this is Jenna.
We're the hosts of ODFM.
That's one from murder.
Each week, we discuss a true crime murder case
and intertwine our unique sense of dark humor.
Each episode relates to a word starting with the letter D.
The stories we tell are serious and true. Our opinions are not.
But be warned, we don't hold back on the details of the case.
Or our inappropriate comments and colorful language.
Join us every Monday on your favorite podcast provider for a new episode of ODFM.
We're on a full ride scholarship to hell.
Hey y'all, this is Ash from Creepy Tapas Podcast. There are a few places selling stickers these days, but I found a small business on Etsy called Snarky Sticker Lady, and I am in love with her stuff. We all love snark around here on the Darkcast Network. When I looked at the shop, I was surprised because she has some really funny stickers. The owner, Allison, knows that pride is not a sin, and she designed a line of stickers for friends of the LGBTQIA community. Allison has said of her own business, I love stickers. I love making stickers. I love putting stickers on everything. I started making stickers because I wanted some snarky, smart-ass stickers, and nobody had them. I need my sarcastic flag to fly, honey. So after making some snarky stickers, I started making lots of other types of stickers too. As a loyal friend to the LGBTQIA community, I wanted some stickers to show how I feel, so I made them. Ha! Maybe you'd like to show how you feel too. All sticker designs are welcome in my shop. Just send your ideas in. All of Allison's stickers are vinyl and laminated, so they are water resistant and will last a really long time. Check her out on Etsy at etsy.com/shop Snarky Sticker Lady. Hey, ba-da-boo-boo, I want to get snarky with you, Snarky Sticker Lady on Etsy.
Hey there! Beyond the Rainbow is a true crime show. I cover topics not suitable for children. And I also have a potty mouth at times. And there's your disclaimer. Hey there, Rainbow Warriors, and welcome to Beyond the Rainbow, True Crimes of the LGBTQ+. I'm your host, the Mistress of Mischievous, CJ. My raccoon is back! And he brought a raccoon friend. I was actually very excited to see them. And you know, it kinda just dawned on me. I must sound like a very sad existence to you all when the highlight of my week was seeing a raccoon. But I just love animals very much. I can't help it. I will be the one mauled to death by a bear one day because I'm trying to feed it. It's the first episode of the new season, y'all! Woo woo! It's season 12. That's one of my lucky numbers. I used to request to be number 12 on every softball team I was on. Later in my adult years, I realized I really just like numbers divisible by 3, which is weird, but for example, when I play the lottery, I always pick 3, 12, 33, 36, 9, and 24. All divisible by 3, and I'm not good at math. So let's rock this season 12 and make it one of the best yet. Please tell a friend about Beyond the Rainbow. Send them a link. Leave me a 5-star review, and we can up the listens on Apple, Spotify, Spreaker, or anywhere you can leave a review. I'd really love for season 12 to make a big impact. Find me on the socials, just about everywhere as Rainbow Crimes and Darkcast Network. You have a case suggestion? Send it to beyondtherainbowpod@gmail.com. And please consider becoming a Patreon member. At the unicorn level, you get ad-free, early release episodes. I'll send you some goodies if you provide me your mailing address. I'll name a unicorn at my Seabreeze Studio stables in your honor. And at the end of every month, just when you're low on everything, here comes CJ with a new true crime case called a Patreon member exclusive just for you. Hey Gonga, what a bargain! You are officially invited to join me and other Darkcast shows this coming August in Austin, Texas. We'll be at the True Crime Paranormal Festival along with some other great shows. Go to the True Crime Paranormal Festival website and type in BEYOND, BEYOND, for 15% off your ticket. It's going to be a blast, and I sure hope to meet some rainbow warriors there. I do have a missing but not forgotten person to share with you this episode. Her name is Dalynn Nicole Nova. She's indigenous and Alaskan, enrolled with the Yurok tribe of the Yurok Reservation in California. Dalynn is 34 years old, stands 5'3", and weighs 158 pounds. She has dark brown or black hair, brown eyes, and she has a Snoopy tattoo, as in the cartoon dog, on her neck. In the picture, she appears masculine presenting. She's missing from Crescent City, California. That's in Northern California. I put a picture of her on my website, beyondtherainbowpodcast.com. Dalynn's Facebook page says she's in a relationship with a woman in Crescent City, but the girlfriend's not missing. Dalynn's date of disappearance is April 4th, 2022. The last time she was seen was at the Ruth compound, or what is called the Swamps. This is outside of Crescent City. It's a well-known place for homeless encampments. There are some rumors flying around that Dalynn joined a traveling carnival, but nothing has been verified. In 2020, Dalynn was arrested and charged with cemetery vandalism and possession of illegal drugs. She spent 120 days in jail, and she paid a $1,200 fine. The month before her disappearance, this would have been in March of 2022, she was arrested again and booked for being under the influence of a controlled substance. She has a failure to appear in court for this arrest. If you have any information to Dalynn's whereabouts, please contact the Yurok Tribal Police. You can reach them at area code 707-482-8185. Now to our main case. Sadly, we live in a world and a society where domestic abuse is prevalent. In particular, the domestic abuse of women. Here's some statistics. Globally, an estimated 736 million women, that's almost 1 in 3, have been subjected to physical and or sexual intimate partner violence, non-partner sexual violence, or both at least once in their lifetime. Most violence against women is perpetrated by current or former husbands or intimate partners. Globally, 81,000 women and girls were killed in 2020. Around 47,000 of them, that's 58%, died at the hands of an intimate partner or a family member. An average of 24 people per minute are victims of rape, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner in the United States. That's more than 12 million women and men over the course of a single year. Women ages 18 to 34 generally experience the highest rates of intimate partner violence. And it's been found that 80% of individuals have perpetrated emotional abuse. Emotional abuse categorized as either expressive in response to a provocation or coercive intended to monitor, control, and or threaten the victim. The numbers are staggering, and by the time I just finished the account of these statistics, approximately 50 people have been beaten, raped, or stalked by an intimate partner. Lack of self-worth, fear of being alone, finances, the kids, and fear of being murdered or physically injured further are all reasons people cannot get out of these abusive relationships. Christina Dormans was a court reporter before she retired. Being in the courtroom every weekday, she had heard it all before. Treacheries associated with some of the worst crimes thinkable, including domestic violence. In July of 2017, Christina's daughter, 29-year-old Felicia Dorman, she told her mother that things between her new wife, 28-year-old Laura Bluestein, and her weren't going too well. She told her mother that sometimes Laura struck out and hit her. Taking in this news, Christina was more than a little concerned about her daughter Felicia. She told her daughter, "Look, you know where I worked for a countless number of years. This is just going to escalate. It's only going to get worse. You have to get out." Christina wanted Felicia to come back home to Pennsylvania. Felicia was in Mount Holly, New Jersey, with her wife of only a year. She told her mom that she didn't want to give up on her marriage to Laura. She was sure they could work it out. Their marriage was just hitting a few bumps before it settled in. Felicia chose not to follow her mother's advice. A month later, Felicia was dead. Felicia and Laura's relationship started out like many do these days, on a dating app. They started chatting through DMs, exchanged numbers, texted, talked on the phone, met, dated. Felicia moved in with the Bluestein family, and 6 months later the couple would marry. In a place of their own, arguments over money, chores, whose turn to cook or do the dishes would become almost a ritual. Physical violence at the hands of Laura would be the after effect. Incidentally, Laura had 2 prior arrests for felony drug possession. The first time she paid a fine and she was released. The second time she did a short jail stint and was on probation for 5 years. That last one was in 2014. Laura would still be on probation when she met Felicia and married her. I wonder if Felicia knew about Laura's criminal past, or if it would have even made any difference to her. On all outward accounts, the couple seemed very happy and in love. They'd post cute little Facebook posts to each other. They put out tons of pictures of them on trips, at baseball games, jet skiing, what have you. They seemed to be in love and having the time of their lives. Neighbors said they seemed upbeat. They always would say hi to them, and nothing about this couple ever gave off any red flags. And that's because the horror was happening inside the home. The turmoil, the fights, the violence, all behind closed doors. Felicia owned a 9mm gun, and she kept it in their home for protection, which I'm sure was a clear violation of Laura's probation. And this just becomes another reason why I question if Felicia even knew about Laura's previous felony charges. But we'll get back to the gun in just a few. The morning of August 6, 2017, the couple were having another fight. Apparently, Felicia had left some food out on the counter and it was attracting ants. Felicia called her mother Christina in tears, and this was about noon. She told her mother that it was over. They were done. Laura told Felicia to get out and go to a hotel. Christina told Felicia to just go, but Felicia didn't want to be alone. Christina told Felicia to call an aunt who was somewhat nearby to come get her, and then she wouldn't be alone. But Felicia never called that aunt. Around 2 p.m., Christina received a text from Laura stating that everything was going to be fine and they were working it out. Around 4 p.m., Pennsylvania police were at Christina's door, telling her and her husband their daughter Felicia was dead. During the couple's latest argument that morning, Laura had possession of Felicia's gun. She pointed it in Felicia's face and she pulled the trigger. However, Laura would claim she was loading the gun and it accidentally went off in Felicia's face. How convenient. After realizing Felicia was dead, Laura drove to a home improvement store. She purchased 2 big plastic tarps and 2 shovels. She came home, she rolled Felicia's body in her tarp, and she went outside to her New Jersey backyard and started digging a hole to bury her wife in. Now, warriors, to me, it doesn't sound like any type of accident. At some point between murdering Felicia and coming home with shovels and tarps, Laura must have called her folks, because her dad called the police and asked for them to do a welfare check at Laura and Felicia's house. Laura never finished that hole because the police arrived. They found Felicia's body wrapped in a blue tarp, and Laura was arrested without further incident. As I mentioned earlier, Laura claimed Felicia's death was an accident. She told the police the gun accidentally discharged. Right, Laura, into Felicia's face while she, Laura, a felon, should not have a gun anywhere near her, let alone in her hands, was loading the pistol. And Laura was loading the pistol while the couple was having a heated argument. What a crock of shit. I don't believe a word of it. But apparently 12 jurors did. Laura was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. At her trial, she pleaded not guilty, and her defense attorneys built her case all around the "it was an accident" theory. They were so convincing, a jury of 12 New Jerseyans came back with an acquittal of first-degree murder. That charge would have held the possibility of 30 years to life. Instead, they imposed a much lesser charge on Laura, that of aggravated manslaughter and tampering with evidence at her attempts to conceal a corpse. After her sentencing of only 15 years for murdering Felicia, Laura claimed, "Felicia was and is the love of my life." If this were true, I would hate to see how Laura treated those she didn't love. Bye, Laura. Rest in power, Felicia. Our True Crime Quickie is unfortunately a case of the same nature. The crime occurred not too far away from New Jersey in Rochester, New York in 2015. 31-year-old Sherrita Crumpler suffered from some very serious illnesses linked to Crohn's disease. Crohn's disease is a chronic inflammation of the digestive tract that leads to abdominal pain, severe diarrhea, fatigue, weight loss, and malnutrition. Although I must say from pictures, Sherrita didn't appear to be suffering from weight loss or malnutrition. She's a sturdy-looking, butch-type woman from the photo that I've seen of her. On the other hand, her girlfriend at the time, 20-year-old Candra Keels, she appears to be a little smaller than Sherrita and more on the feminine side. Candra also had a baby girl, a 3-year-old toddler in the year 2015. In Sherrita's words, Candra was at work, and Sherrita was making dinner just the way Candra liked it, extra salty. She wanted to make sure Candra had something good to eat when she came home. Sherrita also had some friends over and knew Candra hated coming home to company. And I'm going to interject right here. I'm kind of the same way. If I worked all damn day, I'd be tired. And unless I had invited people over, I just wanted to unwind, take the bra off, and decompress from the day. Coming home to my girlfriend's friends would not be a delightful option for me, especially if my girlfriend wasn't working. And for what it's worth, that's just my 2 cents. Anyway, Candra's cousin lived in the apartment above Sherrita and Candra. She texted Candra that Sherrita's friends were over. Candra was upset and she began texting Sherrita. In order to avoid embarrassment in front of her friends, Sherrita decided to leave the apartment with her friends. She came back later in the evening to get some cash. She thought Candra would be asleep. But as soon as Sherrita entered the apartment, Candra attacked her and began to hit her. Sherrita said she was hit so hard across the face with some type of object, her vision became unclear for a few minutes. Sherrita's sister, who was waiting in the car for her, entered the apartment, and she told Sherrita, "Come on, get your stuff, let's go." And then she went back to the car, assuming that Sherrita would follow. But Sherrita, in a daze, was still standing there. Candra came at her with a knife, and the two struggled with the knife and fell to the floor. When Sherrita stood up, Candra said she was hurt. Sherrita quickly called 911. She had stabbed Candra. Both women stumbled outside to get Sherrita's sister for help. Candra was taken to the hospital for what initially was classified as a non-life-threatening injury, and Sherrita was taken to the police station for questioning. While being questioned, one side of Sherrita's face fell numb, and she began drooling. She too was taken to the hospital. The doctor said she had a cracked eye socket, She was also checked for traumatic brain injury as well. After hours on the operation table, Candra would end up dying that day at the hospital. This was as a result of her wound. Now again, this is all Sherrita's account of how things went down. Candra was unable to be questioned before she died. A quick peek at Candra's Facebook page and online obituaries showed she was well loved by friends and family alike. She left behind her toddler daughter, who is most likely being raised by her family. Sherrita has since claimed not guilty, and that she was the victim of an abusive relationship. She has stated, "All I'm guilty of is loving someone and remaining with them despite years of domestic abuse." She went on to say she stayed with Candra because Candra had been supportive of her while she suffered her many bouts with Crohn's disease illnesses. Now, I don't claim to know everything about domestic abuse. I think every situation is a little different. But Sherrita, to me, doesn't seem like her actions fit someone who's the victim of a domestic abuse situation. If she were truly scared of her partner, Candra, it would seem to me she would have been too fearful to have friends over in the first place. Sherrita was arrested for the murder of Candra. In her mugshot photo, she very cheekily gave duck lips, also known as kissy face, for the camera. This seems highly disrespectful. As well, in most cases of lesbian domestic violence, the more masculine partner is generally the abuser. I'm not saying Sherrita's lying. What I am saying is it's not likely she had been violently abused by Candra for years, but that was her defense. Sherrita had no prior convictions for anything. She was charged with second-degree murder of her girlfriend, Candra Keels. She received a reduced charge at her trial of first-degree manslaughter. She's currently serving 17 years at Bedford Hills Correctional Facility. Sherrita has appealed her sentence, declaring incompetent defense attorneys. The court found Sherrita's evidence of this lacking and she was denied a retrial. So what do you guys think? Did Laura and Sherrita get fair sentences? Should they have been given stronger or lighter sentences? Hit me up on the socials and let me know. Rest in power, Candra. Love you guys. You matter. And remember, it's not a crime to be gay, unless you're a murderer.